on my mind since I've lived in this area. But I'll tell you, it brought home to me on Tuesday when my wife was driving her car about a block from our house with my 5-year-old daughter in the car, getting ready to go to the Meadowbrook Mall to buy fall school clothes, just like you do. And two fellas opened the car doors, jumped in the car, and told her to take them to somewhere else in Clarksburg. This happened on Milford Street, at the intersection by the Humane Society thrift store over there. And she was terrified. She got a 5-year-old daughter in the car. Two tall gentlemen just hop in out of nowhere and tell her to take them somewhere. This happened in broad daylight at a decently traveled intersection right here in Clarksburg. Now, this brought me to talking to other people in the community about crime in Clarksburg. And I will tell you, I have a list here of recent incidents that people see in broad daylight. Let me give you a location. We're talking about both Go Markets, another part of downtown. We're talking about soliciting rides, selling drugs, soliciting prostitution. We're talking about Sheets, people asking for drugs, selling drugs. CVS, people offering to buy the drugs that people have just picked up for themselves. We're talking about the Kroger's area over there, people soliciting drugs, people panhandling. We're talking about the McDonald's parking lot, the Wendy's parking lot. Milford Street, I've heard from about 7 or 8 people that they always, 100% always, lock their car doors when they're driving down Milford Street or down in Steely because people walk up to their cars and try to get in. I'm talking about the Big Lots Plaza over there. People panhandling, looking at people's cars. These are not incidents that I've witnessed myself. I've talked to the local community about what's going on. And these are not things that happened 5-6 years ago. I asked for events that have happened in the past 3-4 months or so. I'm talking about, let's see where else. I don't know how I could forget to bring this up right away. A block from my house, a man was beaten to death and left, well not to death, he was beaten and left on his porch and recently taken off of his life support. A block from my house. They parked at the church down the road from my house to walk this guy and drop him off at his house. These are things that are happening all the time in the city of Clarksburg. I can't be told it's a great day in Clarksburg. I can't be told things are on the mend when I can talk to the community and get a list of 20 locations where people are soliciting drugs, people are selling drugs, people are panhandling, people are soliciting prostitution. You just gave a plaque to the lovely ladies from the DAR, and they deserve that plaque. And you folks just cleaned up that cemetery, and I hear reports that after the cemetery is cleaned up, sexual acts are being performed in that cemetery in daylight. This is not the things that we need to be hearing about Clarksburg. We can and need to do better. And I've talked to a couple police officers about this. They need more officers. They need more pay for officers. If you want to get more officers in this town, we need to improve. Something needs to happen. This is my family. This is where I live. This happened this week in broad daylight. Something needs to get better.
Was that reported to the incident with your wife? Was that reported to the police?
State police, yes, she filed a report.
City manager's report and update.
Under paving from Milford Street, the Western DOH is having a pre-construction meeting with the Mountain Air Contractor Inc. as well as Assistant Senator Anthony Bellotti on Monday, September 21st to review the project for the paving of Route 19, which is Milford Street, as well as the ADA ramps along Milford Street from West Pike Street all the way to Liberty Avenue. And then if you notice, some construction signs have been already placed out there along this roadway, notifying that something is coming. So we will have a timeline after that meeting to what will transpire going forward. Also in the paving, Dog Construction has completed the paving as of Tuesday, September 15th. This contract was our largest million paving contract in the city of Clarksburg's history, with 5,241 tons of asphalt that was laid, and also 28,506 square yards of milling that was completed. Under the demolition, all 4 of the structures that previously have been completed, those structures have been completed, and now 3 of those 4 properties will be needed to be deeded to the Board of Education. And that will enable them to move forward with their projects for green space as well as additional parking for the WI Middle and Northview Elementary School. South 7th Street, the wall sidewalk curb, we're placing that back out to obtain written estimates to complete and take corrective action up there along that roadway where it slipped several years ago. It is a safety issue. Probably about a month and a half ago, I think I've updated the council that we put it out then. We already received 2 estimates back, so we've contacted many more anticipate scheduling that for Monday, starting Monday, October 5th, to go through Friday, October 30th. And just be aware that there would be no pickup the week of August 12th through August 16th. And all of this will be placed on our website, our social media sites to promote, as well as all the dates, the routes for the pickup, as well as all the material that is eligible for pickup, and then what is not, and then alternative locations where those other substances will be dropped off. From the sanitary board, Spring Avenue, the city administration did have a meeting with the sanitary board engineers to discuss the immediate implementation of a portion of phase 4 of the long-term control plan. And this will impact Spring Street, St. Clair, and Head Streets. In addition, we are in the process of contacting West Virginia DOH for the direction on the installation of a storm sewer inlet at the intersection of Heyman Highway as well as Buchanan Pike, which would capture the stormwater in that area and divert it in a different direction. Under economic development, the infrastructure, Sycamore Street Bridge, Lowndes Hill roadway projects, with those, as I mentioned before, we have met with the USDA to attempt to secure funding for this project. We're continuing to work with the city engineer on these two infrastructure projects as well. The estimated cost of both projects is approximately $1.8 million, which does include the construction, the contingency number within that budget, as well as the engineering fees to put the specifications into the bidding of the project. We've also received an engagement letter from Bond Council, which is addressed to the Municipal Building Commission, whom would be the one oversight of the construction, and this amount of $20,000 for Bond Council. Anchor Hocking property, we had an opportunity to have a meeting this past week in Morgantown with DEP and Brownfields officials, as well as a representative of a developer who was highly interested in the Anchor Hocking property. So we're continuing to keep that communication alive and keeping them with the state officials to make sure everybody's aware of what needs to be done and what does not need to be done up front. Under the Robinson Grand Theater, the administration is in the process of reviewing a tax credit agreement, and upon completing the review and execution of this agreement, this will allow for consulting services to include the filing for new market tax credits, historical tax credits, and or also renewable tax credits if so fits for the project. Also,
if I could interrupt, I think the deadline has passed whereby we were soliciting capital campaign managers for that theater for fundraising. Did we have responses?
flip your page.
Next page, sorry.
Capital Project B, capital campaign. The administration has received proposals for the request for qualifications that we did submit and put out. We have received some back. We're currently reviewing those. We are in the process of scheduling those interviews as of now, and we'll give you an update after those interviews are completed. Also, under the operational management for the theater, we are currently in the process of drafting an RFQ for the theater management company. Rocco Facilio of WVU, had an opportunity to meet with him. And also, he's introduced us to two professors from the WVU School of Creative Arts, whom also we're going to engage with to review the request for qualifications and also get their input regarding how we perceive this to move forward, and to bring them into that conversation to make sure that we're moving forward in a proper manner from the perspective of WVU also. Mountain Opportunities Group over at Point Comfort, there has been housing built over there, which is along Pike Street and also in between Pike and Martin Lane. This has been completed. We're in the process of scheduling an open house for that area. The Mountain Opportunities Group has pretty much leased those properties as of now, so they will be 100% leased on all the doors being open. But it is approximately six quality constructed units. They're finalizing some of the landscaping now within that area. And also the K9 Heaven Grooming will be having a ribbon cutting on Thursday, October 1st at 12 noon. We do welcome their business, and they will be located at 211 North 4th Street. Right there on the edge of the bridge, one that we will out. Under police and fire, we have received, as I mentioned last time, 73 applications, 43 for fire, 30 for police, and 10 are testing for both departments. The written test for both police and fire was Wednesday, September 2nd. Police department had 23, proceed on. The fire department had approximately 25 proceed on through the testing. The next up is the physical ability test, which is this weekend, September 19th, which will be held at RCB High School for the police department. And then fire department physical ability test, again, just a reminder, is separated into 2 segments according to the alphabet of the last name. And those will be on Saturday, September 26th and Saturday, October 3rd. And then also within the fire department, surplus property, now that the new truck, the pumper truck has been put into service. The 1994 International Pierce pumper truck has been placed out for bid, surplus property, and that's been placed on govdeals.com. And that was done this past Tuesday, September 15th, with a minimum bid of $5,000, and the auction will close on Tuesday, September 29th.
Where is that at again? I'm sorry.
To govdeals.com.
Govdeals.com. Thank you.
Next, please.
Thank you. Now unfinished business, new business, consideration of a petition filed by Betty Goulas requesting the abandonment of an unopened, unimproved alley located on the northern side of Orange Street.
I'll make the motion that this petition filed by Betty Goulas be referred to the Planning and Zoning Commission at the appropriate time.
Second.
If there are no objections, then the motion carries. Council comments?
I'll go ahead and start. First of all, we finalized the date for the council retreat, and it is going to be Sunday and Monday, October the 11th and 12th, and it's currently scheduled to be at the Waterfront Hotel in Morgantown. They gave us a pretty good deal on any meals or room rates, and we're waiving the fees on the conference room, parking, and so forth. So, and that's easy access for anybody who wants to go back and forth. And then also, too, I want to remind council, this weekend at noon is the sign dedication to Kirsten Wyatt. She's a local gal here, well, she's from here, but she's in New York, and we dedicated actually 2 signs that will be installed, and so it's going to be at noon on Buchanan Pike, and parked over there by Square Deal. So the unveiling of that sign will be the 7th. Will she be here? Yes, she will be here as well as members of her family. And then she'll be honored again that evening in the Leaper service, which Jim will be there on my behalf to present her with the key to the city. So that's really exciting for a local girl to make those accomplishments. And again, congratulations to the board and all the volunteers for the West Virginia Town and Heritage Festival and the West Virginia Black Heritage Festival. For the most part, it was good weather, but they had really good crowds, and it seemed to flow smoothly. So, again, that was a very successful event for both organizations. So, that's all that I have.
I know we already had a proclamation about it, but I just wanted to again stress that it's Constitution Day, and that's a great day to be an American. And 228 years, longest running Constitution in the history of the world. So that's a great accomplishment. I'd like to, and I also was able to enjoy both the Town Heritage Festival and the Black Heritage Festival the last couple of weeks. It was great to see the Black Heritage Festival up here on Main Street. I think that was a good move, and I'm looking forward to seeing them in the future there. There's been a lot of, there's been a lot of talk in Clarksburg the last week or so about naming RCB Field, and I've made my opinions pretty known on that. And it's obviously not what City Council does. This is just me speaking as a citizen, but I really hope that it will eventually be named after Doug Layfield. I agree with what Michael said about us having a crime problem. At that same place where he described that a couple of men got in the car with his wife, a man tried to force his way into my wife's car at that same spot a few weeks ago. So that's definitely a problem, and we need to do something to take care of those type of things. And we just need to have a greater police presence. We need more police officers, and I realize that costs. That in order to get more police officers and to retain more police officers, you have to find the money for it somewhere. So we're just going to police is one of the most important things government does. We can't skip on that.
No.
And the only last thing I'll throw out is I want to throw out this idea to the city administration and see if y'all would think it was a good idea. I think that a lot of times the people at the ground level of an organization are often the ones that have ideas for how to improve it and make it work better, because they're the ones that actually are there doing it every day, and they may see things that we don't see. So maybe if we did, say, an anonymous survey of city employees and just let them give comments as to what they think, how they think things could be improved so the city would run better, smoother, more efficiently, and just let them write comments and see what we get. And perhaps we would get some good ideas to improve the city. That's all.
I'd like to thank our city manager and anyone else in the administration that has taken quick steps to address the situation. For in spring, there were several residents that were affected by that, and certainly crime is a big problem, and flooding is a big problem when you own a home. And I think the fact that we're trying to address that in an expeditious fashion speaks well of us, because several people were very concerned, and obviously we're talking in terms of significant property loss due to several incidents of flooding in that area. The initial feedback I got from a board of directors member of the Black Heritage Festival was that they were very pleased with the outcome of that festival, and I can't imagine that they won't be planning to move it to downtown again. So they were very grateful and very appreciative of the opportunity, and I think it was a great success based on what I heard. Lastly, some of you may have seen this in the paper. I had an opportunity to be a part of, I'm going to call it an exploratory meeting, if you will, at the Bridgeport Conference Center earlier this week that included members of our community, some leaders of our community, Bridgeport, Clarksburg, and also some doctors and researchers from West Virginia University who are attempting to initiate a collaboration entitled Last to First Together. And Gordon Gee, the president of WVU, somewhat came up with this idea because he was just flat out disgusted that there are too many surveys, too many polls, too many cases of West Virginia being ranked last among all states when it comes to things like physical fitness and obesity and tobacco use, things that have a significant impact on the health of our community. I will tell you that we've already learned that the results of a short poll that were taken after that meeting indicated that 100% of those in attendance felt that it was a program that we should take up. And in fact, it will be taken up. Harrison County will be the model for this program in the state of West Virginia. And again, this is going to be developing a template and a plan to go out in our community, in the entire county, and work on the significant issues of obesity, helping people come up with a better plan for preparing proper diets, fighting drug and alcohol abuse, helping this community in many, many ways. And I think with the assistance and the leadership of some of the folks at West Virginia University, we've got a great opportunity to become a leader in this state in fighting some of these significant problems. So I applaud their efforts, and I hope that any of you that get an opportunity to work on this program volunteer to assist, because it's going to be a broad-based program that will be implemented to fight these problems. Thank you.
Just a couple of things. One, I'd like to commend the city of Clarksburg for their aggressive undertaking of the paving project, which just took place. City manager reported on. Everybody involved university storefront idea that we've been talking about with Rocco Vigilio, and where we can tap into the resources with the university. They have graduate students there that can help us on many different levels, whether it be healthcare, whether it be Creative Arts Center, and helping us with the Robinson Grand Theater, and other things that may be out there that we're not aware of. We're aggressively trying to have that done in downtown Clarksburg as well. Thank you.
Yes, I just have a few things to say. I'm not as polished as everyone else, so I'll have some notes until I get more adjusted. But I definitely want to thank the Italian, the city. I think the Italian Heritage Festival was a great success. The Black Heritage Festival downtown was amazing. I attended the 11 a.m. service. Pastor Armand did a great job. He also had a preacher from Beckley come in, so it was a great service. I'm still feeling good from it. Also want to thank Public Works, the city, everyone involved with the paving of the streets. Great job there. I want to thank Mike Starkey Jr. He was able to find some donations for the fencing at the IOFC cemetery, and I believe he's finding donations for flagpoles as well. So, and he's going to donate a flag on his own. I hear tomorrow's the big game. It's an exciting evening. Bridgeport Indians are coming into town to play our RCB Eagles. What many citizens are already calling the Dougie Layfield Stadium. So it's going to be an exciting game, and I think a lot of good things are coming here in Clarksburg. And I just want to thank everyone else for coming here this evening as well.
Jim, do you have any comments?
Yeah,